And welcome back. Since its inception, Public Prep has stood as the nation's first not-for-profit tuition-free charter school network dedicated to fostering exceptional scholars from pre-K to middle school. Now, with a vision that's rooted in cultivating courageous learners and resilient leaders, Public Prep not only shapes young minds, but also serves as a beacon of community empowerment. And we've got joining us now the CEO of Public Preparatory Network Charter Schools, Janelle Bradshaw. Janelle, good to have you.
It's very nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. So your school is unique in a couple of ways.
Yes.
And so if somebody asks you the question, like, what makes the difference between your school and, other schools, how would you define that?
Well, first I would start with the notion that we are the only single gender pre-K through 8 charter school network in New York City, which I think makes us completely unique. That means we have schools that are only all girls and schools that are only all boys. Our pre-K program is co-ed, so that is an opportunity at the youngest ages to be together. But from kindergarten through 8th grade, we really are focusing in on what it is to make sure that girls become confident leaders, and doing that when they are surrounded by their peers. What they start to understand is that the smartest girl in a math classroom is a girl. And what our boys start to understand is that the smartest reader in their classroom is a boy. And so it allows children to really understand their identities and to discover what they're really passionate about, because they start to understand that you can be passionate and pursue the things that are just right for you. So that's the first thing that I think is really unique about the work that we do. The second is that we are rooted in a culture of love and justice. And so what that means is, again, starting from the earliest ages, we are talking about social justice, and we name all of our classrooms actually after namesakes. And so instead of being known as room 205 or Miss Bradshaw's classroom, you become the Ruby Bridges classroom in 1st grade. And 1st graders really understand, what was it that this 6-year-old was able to do to not just change the course of her life, but the course of history. And if that 6-year-old could bravely walk into a school surrounded, that image we see of her surrounded by police officers, so that a change could be made, the opportunity for education, then you too can do that. But they also learn about, people like Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Jackson and Barack Obama. But we also make sure that they're rooted in local namesakes. People like Majora Carter, who has come back to her community, is rooted in environmental justice, and is really giving back in big and small ways. So those are just some of the ways that we are unique in the work that we do in a pre-K through 8 space.
So for people who don't know where you're located, let's tell them where you're located first of all.
Yes, so we have 3 sites starting in the fall. Our girls' site is on 681 Kelly Street in the Bronx, and that is where the first girls prep started in the Bronx in 2009. So that group of girls are now in their junior year of college. We have been around, I call it the best kept secret as a native from the Bronx. We have been actually around since 2005. The first girls prep started in the Lower East Side in 2005 with a group of kindergarten and 1st graders. And those young women have all graduated from college and are out into the world. Believe it or not, we now have alumni numbering over 1,300. And so we now have young women who've graduated from college and they're in medical school right now. We have young women who have received their master's degree from Columbia University in the arts. We have young women who are teaching in our schools as middle school teachers and also on our operations staff. And so again, this lifelong community that we are going to give back to our community, whether it's internal here or beyond, is part of where we are. Our boys' school is on 151st Street and Grand Concourse. They opened in a private facility in the year of 2017. That was my 2nd year in the network. And our girls' school, our 3rd school, our girls' school that is opening in August in their permanent facility is Girls Prep Bronx 2, and that's going to be on 203rd Street, right around Mashulu Parkway in the Bedford Park area neighborhood.
And so for yourself, you've been through, a cohort or two.
Yes.
As you watch them matriculate through and you see them go from those who've been, now to college.
Yeah.
What's that like for you, given the fact that you've now seen the education come full circle?
Yeah, so, I call my role, and as I talk to, I call them my kids, right? I'm a CEO, but really I feel like the mom in chief.
Right.
And so you're right, being part of this journey with them and being a part of public prep has been the greatest gift of my life, because what you realize and recognize is that our real purpose in education is to make sure that kids are passionate about what it is that they do. And when they find that passion and they have a community that's surrounding them and supporting them, they are going to take risk and explore and do so many things. And so even for our alumni, about 80% of our alumni who've graduated from high school have matriculated into college. And I'm proud of that fact, not only because we're outperforming New York City and the Bronx in New York State, but because it's their choice. And so one of the things that we talk about with our staff when kids are in kindergarten is that it is a fundamental right to ensure that they have access to a high quality education. Hard stop. Period. And we will be relentless and unapologetic about the ways in which we are serving our children. So we want them to feel free to embrace their cultures and their communities. We want them to understand that they come from families who care about what it is that they do. And we want our alumni to now reach back and be role models in the same way that our namesakes were. We now have near peer mentoring programs where our alumni come back and support our younger scholars, so that they're sharing stories of what was it like to transition from 8th grade to high school? What was it like to go from all girls and all boys to a co-ed environment, as many of our scholars choose to do? What was it like to move from high school to college? And so some of the work that we're doing now that we've heard from our alumni is how do we create what we're calling girls prep and boys prep posses? Where are the places where they're going to still have the levels of community that they need to succeed? Because what we believe at Public Prep is that it's not about having unicorns or uniqueness. You are successful because there is a team around you who is supporting you and allowing you to have on-ramps and off-ramps to success.
I'm a journalist, so
Yeah.
I listen to what you say. And so here it is. You said we outperformed the Bronx, we outperformed New York City, we are outperforming the state. I don't think that's something that you just take lightly, and I don't think that's something we just gloss and move over. What is the secret sauce for the outperformance of, the city, the state, and the borough, given the fact that you got, some talented students who are making really record impact?
We focus a lot on growth mindset. And so we are a network that accepts transfer students all throughout, and that's been in the DNA of our history, meaning you can come to us when you're in 7th grade or 8th grade, or you can come to us when you're in kindergarten. The reality is about 2/3 of our cohorts are with us from the time that they are 5, but things happen, right? And we don't want to give up on kids. And within that growth mindset, what it means is that we focus on more than just the tests. We focus on what is your goal. And so we're allowing opportunities for us to personalize the experience for every single scholar that's in our classrooms. So having an IEP is not an impediment or a barrier to success. What it means is that we're going to teach you how you learn differently so that you can use that as your own superpower. We think that level of independence and advocacy is the skills that children are using when they get to high school, and then when they go beyond high school, whether it's choosing college. Again, these are their choices. Choosing college, eyes wide open, and saying, I want to pursue a career in the sciences. I want to pursue a career in journalism. I want to pursue a career in the arts. These are all of their choices. Or we have scholars who've gone into the military, or we have scholars who've chosen not to go to college and to have technical careers and create their own businesses. And we are excited about all of that.
For yourself, obviously it's got to be a great feeling. Expansion, right?
Yes.
All this great stuff leads to expansion.
Yes.
And let's talk about the expansion and the reason behind it.
So as I shared, our first school started in the Lower East Side in 2005, and given a lot of the gentrification that's happened in that neighborhood, the enrollment has declined. And so for us, we made a strategic choice to concentrate our efforts in the Bronx because, again, we believe that a single gender education should not just be exclusively to those who have $70,000 and $80,000 of disposable income to send their daughters to Spence and Nightingale, friends of ours, by the way.
Right.
We partnered together, or to collegiate, right? We know that there are, this should be an opportunity that's open to anyone who does not have the funds but wants their child to be able to be leaders of tomorrow and learn in community. So we are excited that we are moving into the Bronx and moving into the North Bronx, where there are not many charter schools. And so again, for everybody to know, we are open to everyone. Yes, there's a lottery, and we've had a lottery, but we still have seats open, and you can apply, and we do not turn people away. I think another part that's core to what we do is we work with partners, our families in partnership, and we make sure that they understand that we have to do this work together. Our scholars are part of a unit, and what that means is when they walk into the door, we need to understand who the families are that they work with and how we work together. And in doing that, we do things like home visits, where we actually go into our families' homes to help them understand, here's how you set your child up for success, right? This is what it means to make sure that they're getting their homework done and doing their reading logs. This is why we're asking you to come with us to Albany to advocate for all children who should have great schools, great facilities. And our new facility is a testament to the advocacy that our families started when I became CEO in 2020 to say, we appreciate that our boys have a private facility, but what about our girls?
Right.
And so I'm so excited that we're going to be able to have a home for our girls in August.
I really got to come back and talk to you about the single gender model because it's really a lot that we can unpack.
Yeah.
By the way, St. David's, 4 East 89th Street.
Okay.
Came out of there. But I want to get a chance to talk more about this, but I can't because I got to get out of here. But let me do this, though. For people who want to find out about how do I enroll, how do I get in?
Yes. Seats are open, www.publicprep.org. You can enroll right online. Someone from our enrollment team will be back in touch with you in about 24 hours now because school is about to start. And as I said, we have seats open in K through 8th grade right now at our all-girls school. We have 2 locations, 681 Kelly Street and on 203rd Street, opening in August. And we will have our boys' school that's open pre-K through 8.
All right, Janelle Bradshaw, thank you so much for coming and being with us.
Thank you.
All right, glad to have you.
Very glad to have you.
All right, listen, if you want more information, visit the website at publicprep.org. We encourage you, please don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this.